Are you ready for story hour? If you hear certain stories and they change your life, not so that you go home and have a gin and tonic and go to sleep, no, but that you wake up and you go, holy crap, I don't want to be like that. Holy cow. I didn't know that if I did this, that's going to happen. I didn't know if I don't do this, that might happen. And oh my goodness. And it's as if somebody tells you the future, your future from today, right? These are like totally cool. Okay. So it's so different than what I usually do, but I decided it would be just the most wonderful thing in the world because I so loved these stories. All right. First story up is this one. Poor, rich, and wealthy. I just heard this morning. And of course, when you see it, you'll know why I couldn't wait to tell it to you. Whether you're poor, rich, or wealthy depends on what you value more of two things. Now, of course, it depends on many things, but this is probably the most important one. What determines whether you're going to be poor, rich, or wealthy depends on which one you value more. Value. Okay, write that word down. It's what I value more. And here they are. Guess what can anybody guess what they are? What these two things are? Let me tell you right now. Do you value the present more? That's the current time. Say present. Just write that in there so you have it in your mind. Or do you value the future more? Okay. So let me give you some context. In the United States, more people right now, we have about 350 million people, I'd say, something like that. So in the US right now, 350 million people, and probably in other countries as well, but the Western worlds in particular, but let's say the US, okay? More people here than ever before are obese. Okay, obese. 60 to 70% of Americans are obese. Yes or no? You get this? They're addicted to all kinds of things, not just drugs, not just meth, no. Alcohol, Netflix, Facebook, okay? Crime, noise, okay? In debt. How many people do you know who are in debt up to their eyeballs? Their whole check goes to rent and paying the bills if they stay on time. So obese, addicted, in debt, and unhappy. This is the commentary about our world. And why is that? Why is this the case? One giant reason. You ready for this? Can anybody guess based on what I said before? What's the reason? It's your time preference. It's the preferences you have about the value, exactly, about the value of the time that you have. And here's how to think about this. Every single day when you do whatever it is that you're going to do, as you do it, before you do it, let's take fitness and health. Take that one. And you go, I want Malbec wine right now. It's been such a rough day. I want a gin and tonic. I want this. I want popcorn. I want ice cream. I want, something good that we say is good because we associate it, since moms give you candies when you're good and ice cream when you're good and you get pizza when you're good, right? I mean, all of this is programmed into us. So you're a big person now, and now you want the Malbec or you want the Beaujolais or the gin and tonic, whatever. It's been a rough day. This is a focus on the present. There's nothing wrong with it, but it's a focus on the present. It's what a lot of people do. Who agrees that they do this now and then? It doesn't need to be wine. It can be anything. Sugar, ice cream, pizza. It's something that is focused on the present, getting an impulse satisfied. That's the present. That's a focus on the present, without any thought of the future days or months or years of what that will do to you, particularly if you do it every day, right? So if you want to be healthy and lean and fit so that by the time you have grandkids, you can compete with them athletically all the way through high school, of their high school, or you can pick them up and do whatever, then you see if that is a focus that you have, then you would reconsider your time preferences when it comes to how do you want to be satisfied? Right now, this minute, I'm going to have it right now, this minute. I'm going to eat this thing or have this thing and do this thing. Do the thing that's not so good, do the thing, stay up later, and then be hungover 3 more days, tie one on and be hungover the rest of the week, scream at your kid and have them be mad at you and wonder if they even, if you even love them or love each other for weeks on end, right? So if you think what you want further down the road, then you will rethink how you eat and drink and how you spend your time. I have a If you value the present more than the future, you will likely end up poor. You see that? They're not aware. I think if I told you, I have a friend, in fact, some of you know her, Dr. Heidi. She says, she's told me since I've known her, I want to be, if any of you have seen her, she is like one gorgeous lady in perfect health, perfect shape, wears the same size she wore at Harvard when she was 25 or 26 or whatever, right? The same energy. And she said, I want to be 130. I think Vic, did she say, was it 130 or that was it, wasn't it? Or was it a little more?
I think it was 132.
132. Oh God. All right. She wanted to be 132.
I used to laugh, but I don't anymore. I don't laugh about that anymore.
No, right. And if somebody says, I want to be 132 years old, this is a choice about who you want to be. You want to be someone who lives to 130, 132, and I want to be at least 97 and beat somebody half my age in tennis. That's what I want. I think that's like really cool. You're 50, get your ass on the other side of the court. Let me ace you right now. And I'll be 97, and it will not be a walker, will not be a wheelchair. Given those ideas about who I think I want to be and who I am now, so I can be that, what she wants, do you think that she spends her time eating crap food or drinking alcohol? Yes or no? Tell me. You see? Because she set out that value to begin with. And that's the purpose of the story. If you value in your life your present impulses, the present, right now, give me this right now, put this in my mouth right now, watch this right now, go Facebook scrolling right now, you will likely end up poor. Do you see why? Tell me yes. Do you understand this? Here's a little chart that they showed. It blew my mind how simple it was. Are you ready for this? Poor, rich, and wealthy. What do you all want to be? Do you want to be poor? Do you want to be rich, or do you want to be wealthy? Come on, put it in there, P, R, or W. So you're conscious. You need to wake up. This is the only pass you're going to get. Wake up, tune in, sit up. Okay, you want to be these things. You want to be somebody who's poor, or somebody who's rich, or somebody who's wealthy. This is a characteristic of you, of a person, okay? Here's the first one. The poor person does the wrong things. Why do they do the wrong things? What did we just say? How does a poor person spend their money? Hello. This is right out of Kiyosaki's book. What does a poor person do? They spend their money now. On what? Whatever is pleasurable right now. Right? Whatever it is. Whatever gives pleasure. I'm going to buy a new this. I'm going to buy a new that. I'm going to buy a third computer or second computer, and they don't really use it for work, but say for just, I don't know, playing games. So you do the wrong things with your time and your money. Instead of thinking, I could take an hour and let me read about how to become a wealthy person, you decide to go watch movies, or you decide to watch Facebook news because you need a little break. What's that? I need a little break. That's a now. That's a present. That's a value of now. And it doesn't mean you should never do it. Of course you take a break. But if you live around nothing but the present, you'll do all the wrong things because you'll use up your money. You can't save anything. You use up your time and your energy because you've used it all watching the news and getting excited about Biden or about the vaccination. And if you can't do anything about it in terms of the politics, you can make your own decision. But in terms of the politics, unless you guys are in politics, there's nothing you're going to do. So poor people do the wrong things. Do you want to know what rich people do? Who can guess what rich people do? Well, poor people are into instant gratification. Let me tell you something about this distinction. A person is not made poor. Nobody is destined to be poor. They become poor because they do the wrong things. Why? They're around people who do the wrong things. There is no poor person, rich person, or wealthy person, just out of the chute. We are all humans. And depending on the environment that we have and what we're able to read and see, we become one of these. If everybody around you spends all their money and goes bowling and drinks beer and alcohol with the money they have, they'll say, well, I can't save. Right. Let me see what you do with your money. Oh, you spend it here, here. Right. They don't know. They do because they value the present they spend their time and their money doing things that don't build up anything for the future because they don't even think about the future. Do you see that? So a poor person didn't come that way. A poor person becomes that way through habits, and not because they're dumb or poor. No, no, no. They just didn't know any better. Do you all understand that? They didn't know any better, or they would have changed in most cases. Let me see that you say that. They didn't know better. Type that into the chat. Don't be blaming people. Just they didn't know better. Do you understand that? They didn't know better. Let me see somebody type it in. Archer, you got it. See, this gets the judgment out of you. They didn't know better. Some of you are going to have a chance to learn how to do better. It doesn't just have to be with me and Vic. It can be with anybody who knows how to do better than you right now. They didn't know better yet. Just know that. When people know better, sometimes they do better if they get to hang with people that are also doing better, right? Exactly. So don't be judgmental, not including for yourself, okay? All right. What do rich people do? Poor people do the wrong things. What do rich people do? Give me the word. What's different? Come on. Okay. What else? Who else we got? Rich people. Yes. They do the right things. Okay. They do the right things. There's a whole list of right things versus wrong things. We already know about the poor people. Rich people do the right things. Yeah, there's all great examples. They avoid debt. However, when you think about avoiding debt, this is for people that are, like we have, what's his name? Ramsey. But you see, that's for individual families. When you're talking about building a business, every business that's ever been built that I know of, big, has gone into debt. John Rockefeller gone into debt massively. Elon Musk, Steve Jobs, are you kidding? What do you think it means to go public? You get millions of dollars from outside people who now own stock. What do you think that is? If you want to grow big, you're probably going to have to borrow, but because of a business, you have a plan. Do you see that? Borrowing by itself is not a bad thing. Borrowing to buy what they call assets that decline in value, that's probably not very smart. But doing the right things, just remember that borrowing is very controversial. Because people like Ramsey say don't borrow, but he's talking to individual families who have a job and are on some kind of a pay plan with their income. They get so much a month or so much a year, whatever. It's not for people who own a business. Do you understand the distinction? Say yes or no. Say I got it. Tell me no that you got it. Everybody has this, right? Because some people will say, oh, I don't want to borrow any money. And they came from the Dave Ramsey school. Well, what about your house? You live in a house? Yeah. You have a mortgage? Yeah. You borrowed. Oh, I guess I did. Why? Because how many people have $500,000 in cash laying around? They don't. So they borrow 80% of it or 90% or 100% if you know how to do that. And you make little payments for the rest of your life. You pay a lot more, but the point is it's doable. You can have a house and you say it's my house. Okay. All right. They do the right things. Okay. Who can guess what the wealthy do? If anybody can guess this, I will give you a ticket to what I'm going to offer you here at the end on the house. A ticket because we have a special challenge we're going to be running. Let's see if anybody got it? What do the wealthy do? The wise things. Yeah, I know, but it's not what I have in mind. You have to guess what I have in mind. Okay, what else?
Oh, you got, okay, other people's money. Other people's money.
Okay. What else? What else?
That's all I have on that side.
Okay. All right. Have you given up? Shall I tell you the answer that I heard this morning? Builds businesses. Okay. Assets. Okay. Efforts of others. Okay. You're getting close. You're getting close. It's the same sentence structure as this. So the first group, they do the wrong things. The poor ones. The rich ones, they do the right things. Right? And the last one you want to see, tell me yes or no. Just give me wise if you want to see, because I'm going to surprise you, I think. You ready? Okay, here we go. They own the right things. And if you think about somebody like Donald Trump, when he wrote that book, The Art of the Deal, one of the things he talked about was casinos. And he said, I think the poor people do all the drinking and then they play. The rich people, the so-called whales, they try to stay sober when they play. I think that's what he said. And the wealthy people own the casinos, right? You think about crypto. How many of you are fooling around in the crypto market a little bit? The crypto or the altcoins, which I'm just learning about. How many people are in there? Right? Got a little bit of that? You buying the crypto and hoping for it to go up, or you have some bots and it goes up and down and, with the bot stuff, right? It doesn't matter. It's just a whole new world. That's, I guess, what is it? Bitcoin has gone up, I don't know, like 4,000% this year or something like that. Okay. Who do you think makes the most money based on what I just told you? Who do you think is getting wealthy from that business? Who knows? All right, should I tell you? The people getting really wealthy are the owners of the exchanges where the crypto and the altcoins are being traded. Coinbase has gone up they started in 2018. They were funded by a group here at Stanford called Y Combinator. They are an incubator for a lot of businesses and they help start Coinbase. I think the company is now worth in the billions of dollars in 5 years? There's a guy whose parents are at Stanford. I think he graduated from Stanford. He's 29 and he's worth, I think, $29 billion. Why? He doesn't even have an interest really in crypto, but he started a crypto exchange for clients that his parents had. I forget what kind of investors they were, but one of the exchanges is owned by this guy and he's now worth, I think it's $29 billion. He's on Forbes magazine this month for those of you who want to look. Yeah, the point is they're the wealthy ones. Do you get that? Now you can argue and say their software sucks, their customer service. That's not the point. Who here gets the point? That Coinbase and the owners of the exchanges are the wealthy ones. They cannot lose money. Do you see this? It doesn't matter whether crypto goes up or down. Tell me you get it and stop quibbling about this crap that has to do nothing with who's wealthy and who's not wealthy. Do you get this or not? I mean, really, I thought do we have like a dumb bunch or what do we got here? Come on. Sure, they have crappy, the Coinbase software is pretty good. I use it and I use Coinbase Pro, but their customer service has got to be the worst. I mean, there's nobody ever there. But do you think I'm going to say that they're not wealthy because of it? No. The owners of the places, the exchanges, who do you think makes the most money at the horse races? The people who gamble in the stands, who mostly lose, that's the poor people. The rich ones, right, who wager and then leverage their bets, or the track owners. Hello. Are you getting it? You see? Does that tell you what you should do when you have 50 cents extra or $1 extra or $10 extra? You're going to blow it on something that's going to be tomorrow. You don't even notice 3 shots of whatever it is when you could be stashing it, put it into something where you're going to be an owner or piece owner or something. No matter what happens, you're making some money because they're trading up or down, up or down, up or down. Who's got it? Tell me yes. Okay, you got to get with the program here. Smarten up. Don't point out things that are wrong with, like, Bill Gates looks kind of ugly. A lot of people say, oh, he's doing this. He was married to his wife. He's still one of the richest people in the world because he created something that somebody else marketed. So don't make the small things get in your way of your vision. Have tunnel vision. Where do you want wealth? You got to own the right things. To be rich, which usually comes first, you do the right things. And to be poor, you keep doing the wrong things. What do you want to do? Make up your mind. The stuck elephant. You ready for the next one? All right, good. So we got the message here, right? What is it that you do? Wrong thing, right thing, or own the right things. And what is most of this based on? Your time reference. Do you value the instant, right now impulse, got to have this moment? Or are you someone who thinks about the future you and looking back, make decisions about how you're going to spend your time and what you put into your mouth? You never can own the right thing if you spend all your money on trash that disappears. Okay. And the more specific your future is, the better it is. Like by this time, I want $80,000 in the bank. You put a little bit in all the time. We'll show you how to do that. All right. The stuck elephant. Are you all familiar with this? Elephants who are chained when they're born. Well, get used to it. That's what they have done this a lot. And they put a chain on their leg when they're babies because they're going to train you for the circus or whatever. And of course, like anything else, an elephant is a living thing and it wants to be free. So they put this chain on an elephant when they're babies. And elephant cannot move. This is that's why she doesn't believe she can. She can't really move because she's too small and the chain's too strong. So they can't get free. And after days and weeks and months, the elephant figures, okay, I'm stuck here whenever that chain is on. She stayed stuck for so long. She's tried for weeks and months, not her whole life, but a few weeks and a few months. And she realizes she can't do the change. So she says, okay, this is it. I'm stuck. That's stage 1. So she stops trying. See, that's here. She stops trying right there. But she can. She actually can. Because if she lifts that leg of hers when she's grown up, this thing will snap like a rubber band. Did you know that? She doesn't know it, you see. So what happens is, ask yourself, whatever it is that you're trying to do, is it possible? If you have a belief that makes you not want to try, whether the belief is true or not, you see, in the case of the elephant here, she really can take this thing off with one lift of her leg when she's grown, like she is here, but she doesn't know it. So she doesn't try. So it's not that she can't. Do you understand? This is not about whether she can or she can't. She thinks she can't. And therefore she doesn't try. She doesn't do it. Do you see that? Because, Henry Ford has this big statement I know about whether you think you can or you can't, you're right. This is not really true. It's not really right. Whether you think you can or you can't will make you either do or not do. It's like Yoda, do or don't do. There's no try. But you see, our elephant here, little Lulu elephant, gave up because she thought she couldn't, because her history told her she couldn't. That might be like your parents told you couldn't, or your school, or your mates, or who knows. Somebody said you couldn't do this, so you couldn't do math. So somebody said, well, girls don't do math. Oh, okay, I guess I don't do math. What does that mean? That you can't? Of course not. But what it does mean is she doesn't try. Why? Well, girls can't do math. I don't want to look stupid. Do you see the distinction between thinking that you can and therefore trying, and thinking that you might be able to and therefore giving it a shot, versus not trying because you're so sure you're not going to be able to do it? Do you see that? Tell me yes. So do you think she can lift this thing up if she lifted up her leg? Yes or no? Could she rip that chain right off? Oh my God, yes. Pop. Like that. Elephants that have never been chained, they can't find the chain big enough. They pull that sucker right out of the ground. They're huge and they're very strong. 5,000 pounds or whatever these guys weigh. It's a lot. So here's the story for you. This is really what you want to think about. Is it possible? Do you have a belief that makes you not want to try? And you say, oh, no, I can't. Oh, I can't raise the money. I don't have that kind of money. So you don't even try. A lot of people say that about high ticket programs. They'll say, oh, well, here's $10,000, $15,000, $20,000. I don't have that kind of money. Nobody would lend it to me. You see, this is precisely having a chain that makes you decide you won't even try. But this is a mistake, because if you step back, there's an entire world of people in business who are in the business of financing business owners, including you. Not just banks, but crowdfunding sources and friends and relatives of friends. There are dozens, hundreds now of sources of people whose business it is to lend worthy people money for their business. What's a worthy person? Somebody who does what they say they're going to do. You can stand there with rags on. And if the person who has money believes that you believe you can make a big difference, they'll give you money. Investors, venture capitalists, they invest in the people. The people. There have been people who come out of jails who got millions of dollars in investment money because the whoever was funding him said, I believe in this idea, and he's going to give his whole life for it to make this work. Every good entrepreneur does that. They give their life. It's not just a weekend gig. So don't think there aren't people out there who would lend you money. You just don't know. So you don't try, and you figure nobody's going to do it. But this is a wrong assumption. That's like Brenda Burchard said, you know, they think, well, nobody's going to pay me 10,000. This is a wrong assumption. You are misreading the market. You are not the market. You're just one little person living on Podunk Street in Podunk, Illinois. What do you know? You've never been out. But when you start expanding your horizons, read books, go to channels, look at stuff on the internet where you see what people are doing, like you, investing in things and finding people, you suddenly go, oh my gosh, there's this whole world I didn't know about. And you'd fit right in, most of you. Or you can stay wiener. That's okay. You can stay wiener and have this little tiny view, and that's fine. Just know that whatever it is, it's not that you can't in most cases. It's that you think you can't because you have wrong beliefs, limited beliefs like this little elephant, and so you don't try. Right? Does that make sense? Tell me yes. I'm going to give you my last story. Okay. So if you have given up and you settle for the chained life of some kind, just reconsider. Is the belief that you have, is it like the elephant in the chain? Because if that's the case, give it a yank and set yourself free. Okay? Okay, story number 3. This is the story of the little seed. If the little seed little seeds, let's pretend that seeds can have a dream. What does the little seed want to be? What does the lead think about? I want to be, oh man, I want to be. What does the little seed want to be? If you could talk to a little seed, a giant tree, right? That's exactly what they want to be. They want to be, I want to be a tree. I want to be a big, fat mama tree. I want to be a giant oak tree and have huge branches and thousands of leaves and spread everywhere. That's what I want to be. That's what the little seed wants to be. Are we agreed? A sequoia totally will take it. I mean, she wants to be a tree. The little seed wants to be a tree. Yes? Now, what has to happen to this little seed before they can become a tree? I want to know what you're saying. Let me write down some things you've got. What has to happen to the seed before they can become a tree? They have to get water. Okay. Have to be nourished. Okay. It needs sunshine. Whoops, sunshine. Okay. What else? It needs time. Good shot. Good one. These are all good. And light. Okay. What else? Caring. Yep. All right. What else? Anything else? O2, oxygen. Okay. These are all wonderful. Not to get eaten by birds, right? Don't get eaten. That's a good one. Right? I like that. It's good. That's good. Don't get eaten, right, by birds. Okay? It needs to be planted. Has to go down in the ground in the dark. Ooh, get dirty. Oh, yeah. What else does it have to do? I'm going to have you write down at one. It's all of these are good. I'm going to have you write down a different one though. In just a minute. See if anybody can think what I'm thinking here. Okay, what is it? Get dirty. Talk positively to it. I have plants in my house and I do that every day. You probably will grow faster if you do that. Totally right. She needs to believe she can. Okay. Be tough. Okay. All right. Be tough. Right. Right. Play music. Okay.
Jay Clark says the seed has to die.
Has to die.
Oh, and fertilizer also.
It has to die, and then it has to be fertilizer.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Be like a bamboo. Okay. That gets us up. Okay. Crack the seed cover. Okay. Shall I tell you the one that I want you to write down? This is really good. You want to hear? Yeah. Everything's right. There's nobody who screwed anything up. It's all perfect. It's perfect. Let me just give you the one that I want you to write down. This is the one to write down. They're all of these are good. Okay. She has to cease being a seed. Right. This is the most important one of all. Cease being a seed. Right. Here, let me get the red here. There we are. You see, she has to cease being what she is to become this new thing. Do you see that? Cease being a seed. That's the only way that she is ever going to be this big tree. And that's the story, of course. We know what the message is, I think, right? You know, in the Joseph Campbell, who wrote a lot of stuff about the heroes and, you know, that the Star Wars movies were based on, always talked about the hero having to leave whatever they had and almost dying with that whole self. The Buddha, the same thing. He was born as a prince and he had to leave everything and about starve himself to death to transform himself. He had to cease being a prince, right? What about Jesus? Had to cease being so-called the Son of God, so to speak, because they were going to kill him on the tree for a while. So you have to cease being what you are. That's what the seed has to do. If you want to be a big tree with lots of branches and everybody admires you and you want all this stuff, you have to agree that you'll cease being a seed. Do you agree to that? Right? Got to cease being a tree, right? So think about us. Do you think you can spend our time only with the present impulses and desires? Remember the time? You want to think about only the present? That's all you want? Or you want to think about the future? Remember who stays poor and who gets rich and wealthy. Can we keep believing what we believe? Do you think maybe some of those beliefs need to cease in order for the seed that's in you to become a big giant tree? When you think about this, can we keep clinging to the us that we are? Well, I can't sell. Well, how do you know? Did you know sales is the most beautiful form of leadership in the world? Why? Because if you come into one of our programs, you can buy or not buy. We'll be all right. But if you do, I know we can turn you into somebody that changes these values. Because when you change your values, you'll change what you do. And until you change these personal values, you'll never change what you do. And it won't make any difference how long you do it. Yeah. See? So that's really what I wanted to show you. So what is next? We have two options. One is the big school. We have an 8-week program that is designed to help transform how you think of who you are and therefore what you do, like we talked about with the examples that are here. Okay, so the big school is the 8-week program, and we show you how to do these things so that you have a picture of who you are, because without that, you won't do anything, and you will maybe do it once or twice and nothing sustains. You know, like a lot of people say, well, you can tell 5 people the same set of instructions and only one of them does anything. Why is that? It's not because the other people can't do it. It's not because they're too lazy. It's none of that. They don't know they've got a chain and they think they can't, so therefore they don't try. Do you see that? And so if you think that maybe you've got some hidden belief that you think you can't, but you really thought, well, man, if I could do that, what if you could? You see, what if it's just a belief that you've got like the elephant and you're just like the elephant? That's really the key. And once that comes off and you develop, I want to be somebody who's going to live to 130. I want to be somebody who's going to be a big giant tree and have huge impact on this generation, the next generation, all the generations. Or I'm going to go to the world and be a missionary and spread the word of whatever it is all over the world. Whatever you want. It doesn't matter what it is. Or it might be something simple. I want to be so healthy and strong that I can play with my kids all the way through high school and be competitive with them, actually, and beat their butt. I can do more push-ups than any kid of mine all the way through high school. If you have that as an image of who you want to be, not what you want to get, but who you want to be, that person, you will start thinking about, well, if I eat this, is that going to help me beat my kid in 5 years or not? Doesn't mean you never do it, but you don't do it every day, every time, every night, every morning. You see the difference? Yeah. Oh my God. Okay. So the big school is a big ticket program, right? So that means it's, some number, depending on what the situation is, between 5 and probably 8K. So it's not a dinky program, but there's some very special things that come with that program that we have. So that's one option. And then today we are going to run a challenge, Vic and I, and it's called Multiply Your Enrollments by Becoming an Influencer. How many of you would believe that if you were an influencer and you had influence over people doing the right stuff, how many of you believe that you could actually make some progress and get a whole lot more enrollments than you have right now? Who thinks that they would like to do that? Right? Multiply your enrollments by becoming an influencer. And an influencer is somebody who can influence someone else. Not because you are going to twist them and make them all weird, but because you know certain things that they don't know, and you know how to help them be the person they want to be with the program that you've got. So with that one, this is the 5-day challenge. We're going to run it. It's going to be, what do we say, Vic? It's November 8 to 12.
8 to 12.
Right. And we will have a general session every day for an hour, for everybody who's out there in the world. And we're going to have a VIP session, which is an hour before, where we will help each individual with whatever the issues are and the path forward. Okay, so the challenge will be November 8 to 12, 5 days. The first hour is for the VIP students, and the second hour is for the general folks. And the key to the first hour is we are only taking 50 of those people. Okay, that's the story with that. And who wants to be a VIP? You want to ask Vic for the link. There's the VIP is 97. We're only going to take 50 people because that's all we're going to be able to handle. Okay, just 50 for the VIP. So that means that you get there an hour early, and we work with all of you to answer questions and figure out what you need to do to move forward. And then the hour after is the general session that we give to everybody who wants to learn to multiply their enrollments by becoming an influencer. Okay. The reason we're doing this is because we want to show people how, with transformation in their own thinking, they change who they are. And once you think you're somebody who blah, 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 you start doing blah, blah, blah. And that's what makes the difference, right? You can't do it if you don't feel you're going to be that person. Nobody just, why do you think most people take programs and don't do anything? Why does everybody sign up for network marketing and they're there for like 2 months, 3 months, and then they don't do anything? They never saw themselves as somebody who was going to do this or do that, or be this or be that. So they just figure out, and then they get 3 no's and go, oh my God, it doesn't work. Right? Because they have a wrong belief. They have a belief about that the elephant here had. They can't do it. That's the chain that they've got. And actually, the fact is that if you reposition what you offer to help people who want to become a certain kind of person, everything changes. You see, nobody wants it. I mean, chasing money, it does not sustain itself. It just doesn't. You can see why everybody, 95% of the people in network marketing drop out, and in internet marketing. Why? Everybody tells them, oh, you can make 100 grand a month, 100 grand a year, whatever. But after 3 no's, somebody's beliefs go boom. And it's still a mistake, because 3 no's doesn't mean anything. You're just talking to the wrong people. But you see, because you didn't think, well, I am meant for something bigger. I am meant for something better. I am meant to help people in this world see this or realize that or end poverty or do this or do that. If you feel like you're that person, because you have to find that out, that's your kind of your lost one, right? If you know that, then you think, what do I have to do to make this happen? Where are the people who are going to say yes? And you start asking, where are they? Well, who are they? Well, it would be these people. They'd be hanging out here. So go over there. And you get a whole bunch of them signed up. What do you think we do? Vic and I, we signed up droves because of that. It's not because we know the words. We know the words because we want to help certain people become certain things. And we know that because we've become it. That's why. All these stories are birthed from pain and experience. And once you've gotten past some, you should ask Vicki one of her stories someday. Once you get past it, you're still standing, you go, now I know why all these other people can't do it. They didn't know there was another side. So I'm going to tell them my story. So they know I used to be where they are. You see? Okay, who wants information on the big school? Book with Vic. And information on the VIP, we only will take 50 people. So what do you want to do? What do you guys want? Okay, because we'll give you the link, or we can talk with you about the big school.
So if you want, you can text me, which is faster right now.
Yeah, because we're going to send this to the list, and we'll probably get 50 people in there, I would say, in the next few days. Yeah, there's a link to just sign up for it.
Yeah.
I'm giving you all the information. It's November 8 to 12. November 8 to 12. It'll be from
1 Pacific time, so I think it's 4 Eastern, yeah?
Yep, 4 to 6 Eastern. So the VIP session would be from 4 to 5, 5 days in a row.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Okay. All right. Any questions? Do you like sessions like this with stories?
I think you should do a story hour every week. Really.
Yeah, I think so.
I mean, we're all kids, Kim. Everybody's a kid on the inside, right? We all like a good story.
Yeah, this is good. Well, I think that's what I'll do, because it's much more powerful. Because if you know now about this seed, that it has to cease to be a seed, then you know, what's that mean for me? What do I have to cease believing and thinking and being if I want to be this big old tree? See? Hello there. This is Kim Klaver, and I'm delighted that you've gotten this far. And if you'd like to dive a little deeper to see if we can grow your business where you'd be really proud of it, go ahead and see the link there. It says Book with Vic, BOOKWITH, V like Victor, IC.com. And she'll chat with you and see whether or not we, first of all, can help you. And if we can't, where we can direct you, whether it's a book or another source, another person, to help you achieve what you want. One of the big things we have learned is that the deeds that need to be done to achieve anything are typically not the most pleasant. Nobody really wants to go on a diet. Nobody wants to go to the gym and do all that stuff. And the way to make it bearable is to have something in mind that you really want to be. And then doing those things becomes a lot easier than if you don't have such a destination in mind. You know what I mean? So if you'd like to see what it is that's going to take for you to do the things so that they become easier to do and you do them, and the thrill of doing them gets you to be the person you need to be to earn the kind of money that you want and have the impact that you want, live the way you want to live, give people what you want to give, share what you want to share, and donate to causes and people that matter to you, book a call and chat with Vic, who has built 4 different companies to the top with me, using the kinds of approaches and the kinds of thinking that we've talked about here with these 3 stories. If that's up your alley, book a time and let's see if we can get you to the next place where you want to be. All right? Talk to you soon. Thanks. This is Kim Klaver. Bye.